Hi guys, Scott Woodward with you, and this is the big one, the World Cup semi-final between hosts England and World Cup incumbents New Zealand. Clearly the winner of this game goes on to play Australia in the final, assuming Australia will be winning easily on the weekend. And look, a lot of the talk this morning, and this morning I'm talking about Monday, very early on in the week, and we don't know who the final teams are at the moment, but I'm guessing who I think the coaches will go with. I don't think I'll be too far wrong, but let me say most of the talk this morning in the forums was that England have got a very good record against New Zealand. In fact, they've defeated New Zealand every time they've played them. It's something like 13 times since 2005 in England. And look, that's all correct, but New Zealand have never had a side like this before. This is the best side I've ever seen New Zealand field, ever. They've got some incredible players in the side. Clearly, Sonny Williams is the best forward I've ever seen play the game, either rugby union or rugby league. Just an awesome player, and he's not even playing in the forwards in rugby union. He's just one of the most amazing players you'd ever want to see, and he just gives New Zealand a completely different look, a completely different distinction that they've ever had, not only off the field, which he tends to rub off on the players, and you saw how much the Roosters improved when he went to the Roosters last year. But a lot of the young players have just lifted under him. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck is a good example of that. But look, in the forward pack, a guy who I've always had a high regard for, Frank Pritchard, and he didn't play in the 2008 World Cup. When New Zealand won, and he's clearly one of the best forwards in the world when he's fit and going well. And I've never seen him looking better, and I've never seen him playing better, and he's clearly thriving playing alongside of Roger. To have Frank Pritchard and Sonny Williams in the same forward pack is just awesome, and you want to throw in some of the other guys like Frank Paul Nuuausala and Jesse Bromwich and guys like that. Frank Paul and Nuuausala, Sam Moa, just an awesome forward pack. And the England forward pack is almost as good. It's going to be an unbelievable game. The other reason why I don't think we can take too much notice of the previous history between these two countries is before we come into the World Cup, the two best wingers in the world were England's Ryan Hall and Australia's Brett Morris. And let me tell you, with the improvement that we've seen from young Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, it's just been amazing. Let me just give you a quick look at some of his stats. So far to date, he's scored 6 tries. He's made 641 metres in the World Cup. That's more than any other player has made in the World Cup. No player in England has done more than 498 metres, just to give you an idea. Roger has also made 9 line breaks on top of the 6 tries. His stats are just off the planet. He's just untouchable at the moment. He can step off both feet. He's so strong and he's so fast, and he's very good in the air. He's just an absolute natural athlete, and he's only a baby. I can't believe how good he's going to be in a couple of years. That's just one guy that wasn't in the previous teams. The big factor for me is that without Benji Marshall, what's come in, Kieran Foran has come in the 6, and he's paired up with Shaun Johnson. Shaun Johnson has the potential to be anything. He's only very young, but he's got all the skills. And as the years go by, I'm starting to see him talk more. I'm starting to see him organise more, and his kicking game, his tactical kicking game, is getting better. And alongside of Kieran Foran, they just seem to complement each other very, very well. And it's an awesome pairing, the 6 and 7 for New Zealand. And we haven't had that before, and they weren't together either in 2008. So we've got a wonderful 6 and 7. We've got Roger on the wing. We've got Issac Luke, who's the hooker, who is in career best form, and a good argument to say he's been the player of the tournament so far. And then, of course, we've got Frank Pritchard and Sonny Williams pairing together. It's just an awesome team altogether, and they've been just massively impressive in all their games so far. And I think they'll go very, very close to winning this game, and I think they'll give Australia a massive fright next week to go back-to-back in World Cup finals. Let's have a quick look at the England side. That will say that they will get into the World Cup final and they'll defeat New Zealand. And just about everything they do is going to come off the back of their champion fullback, Sam Tomkins. He's been unbelievable so far. He goes and plays fullback for New Zealand in the NRL next year, and he's clearly one of the best plays in the world. He's as good as any back I've ever seen play for England in the last 40 years. Massive statement, I know, but he's just unbelievable. He's elusive. He can step brilliantly off both feet, very much like Graham Langlands, in fact. And just about all the try assists and all the tries come off. He's had some involvement in. So New Zealand really need to watch Sam Tomkins very closely. Just let me have a quick look at his stats. He's made 7 try assists so far, Sam Tomkins. Kieran Foran has made 9, incidentally, but Sam Tomkins has made 7 try assists. He's made 492 metres, which is an outstanding effort. But on top of that, he has made 7 errors, so he has been prone to making a lot of errors, and so is the young halfback. He's been playing 5'8", in fact, Rangi Chase. He's also made 7 errors. So that's an area that they need to cut back on if they want to beat New Zealand. They can't afford to be handing cheap ball over to them. Look, just to compliment Sam Tomkins, and I've rated both these two teams exactly the same on my player ratings, both at 133, which is a very good rating. And it's interesting that their benches rate both the same as well. But England slightly rate better in the backs, and New Zealand rate slightly better in the forwards. And Sam Tomkins is the main reason for the high rating for England in the backs. He's just an unbelievable player, and we're not sure who's going to play fullback for New Zealand. I would suggest that the coach will go for Kevin Locke. I thought he did very, very well last week, and it will allow Josh Hoffman to come on and replace Manu Vatuvei on the left wing. Josh Hoffman plays left wing for Brisbane, and don't forget, his Brisbane assistant coach is the coach of New Zealand, so he'll know very much how good he is on the left wing. I think he's a world-class winger. That might come as a surprise to a lot of people, but I think Josh Hoffman is a world-class winger. His finishing is just absolutely sublime. He seems to catch the ball at the right time. He knows how far he has to get to the line, and he catches the ball on the fall, so he's got good pace up when he's going with the ball. And I know a lot of people will be disappointed that Manu will not be playing in this game, but I don't think they're going to be lacking anything with Josh Hoffman in the team on the wing. So I'm not concerned about that at all. And it does allow Kevin Locke to come in and play fullback, and he gives some genuine pace from the back there to complement Roger Tuivasa-Sheck and also Bryson Goodwin and Dean Whare. Just back on England. I've been a little disappointed in Kallum Watkins, I have to say. Look, I know he came into the tournament with an injury, and he's probably a little bit underdone, but he came in as the gun centre for England, and clearly Leroy Cudjoe, I can't pronounce his name properly, but I've been very highly impressed by what I've seen. In fact, he's will probably get an increased rating from the last couple of games that I've seen. He's been responsible for several try assists in this tournament, and he's big and strong, and he's going to be very, very hard to contain. I'm looking for a marked improvement in Watkins. We know he's a lot better than that. I've been very impressed by the England wingers. Charnley, we knew Ryan Hall would be good, and he certainly is. He hasn't let anybody down. He's the current leading try scorer. It's going to be interesting to see between him and probably Brett Morris, who's going to be the leading try scorer. But Ryan Hall, he's big, he's strong, he's fast, he's great in the air, he's just great everywhere. He's unbelievable. Love to see him come to Australia and see how he goes over there. I have no doubt he will be very, very successful over there. Look, on England, I think Rangi Chase has been outstanding. He's the danger man for New Zealand. He's very elusive, got a very, very good cutout pass. He's just very clever with the ball, and I think he complements the captain, Kevin Sinfield, very well. Kevin's not your ideal halfback. He would much prefer to play lock forward, but the fact is England have got 2 world-class lock forwards already in the side, and it's very, very difficult not to play Shaun McLaughlin at lock. He's been in great form. He's another guy who I think will go very good in the NRL. Shaun McLaughlin, he's been in outstanding form, and he's one of the major contributors to this England forward pack. He's been going that good. He's forced Sam Burgess into the back row. Only because Sam is that good, he can play just about anywhere. Sam can play front row, he can play back row. He really is one of the best lock forwards in the world, and he would much prefer to play there. But England have got so much strength in that particular area. I still don't think you'll see Sam moving too far from the centre of the field, maybe a little bit on the right edges, regardless of what happens there. Been a little bit disappointed in the big tough guy, Ben Westwood. He wouldn't be in my side, but the coach seems to like him. I certainly would be starting with George Burgess. They seem to be playing him off the bench. South Sydney played him off the bench. He's one of the best prop forwards in the world. He has genuine go forward, and he's quite capable of taking 3 and 4 guys with him and barging over the line. And they're not going to get too many second chances at New Zealand here, and they need to assert their superiority in the middle of the ruck very, very early in this game. And there's no better guy to do that than Sam Burgess, and he can play long minutes. You don't have to use him as just a pinch hitter off the bench. He actually got good stamina, and he can play long minutes. And I certainly would be starting with him, and I'd have no problems with starting him along with James Graham. They would be my 2 starting forwards. James Graham is an absolute workaholic. Good to see that he is starting. The Bulldogs seem to want to start him off the bench, which I've never understood why, and I think he's a genuine starting prop. So with James Graham starting, it looks like the coach is going to go with Chris Hill. I think Chris Hill has been excellent. I haven't seen much of him. I've liked what I've seen. I've already talked about Shaun McLaughlin. I like very much what I've seen. James Roby, I think, offers a lot when he comes off the bench, and it looks like the coach played Michael McIlorum last week, and I thought he did very well. Not quite sure if he will stay that way. So either way, I don't think it's going to change the ratings too much. Like very much on what I saw with Brett Ferres, and like very much Liam Farrell. There's a lot of talent in this forward pack for England, and I've got no doubt that they'll be very competitive. They're playing at Wembley in front of their home crowd. They know they go good there. They know they have a great record against New Zealand, but they've never played a New Zealand team as good as this ever. And this is an unbelievable side. And this is such a pivotal game. The winner here will go into the final, into the World Cup final. And these are the type of games where you see the very best players, the gun players of the world, stand up and be counted. And if that's going to happen and England are going to win, there's no doubt that Sam Tomkins will have to have a blinder. There's no doubt that Sam Burgess will have to have a blinder. The 2 Sams for England, they're the 2 X-factor players in the side. They're the 2 best players. And Sam in the forwards and Sam Tomkins in the back. They're going to have to be in everything, and if England are going to have any hope of winning this game. Now, for New Zealand, the guys that are going to have to get them home is clearly Sonny Williams. He very, very rarely has a bad game. The mail is that his injury to the neck is okay. He's carrying an injury to his shoulder, and he's carrying an injury to his leg. But he's okay to play, and I've got no doubt he'll have another stormer along with his partner in crime there, Frank Pritchard. Issac Luke has been untouchable, and I think he'll continue to give them good go forward and give them good shape. I haven't seen a great deal here of Shaun Johnson. I think he's one of the most amazing young players in the world of rugby league. And this is the type of game where you might just see Shaun Johnson stand up and say, hey, Benji's gone, but I'm here now, and my name's Shaun Johnson. And this is the stage for Shaun Johnson. And while he's been a little bit overshadowed by some of his other teammates, I'm suggesting that you might see a big game from him here. We know Kieran Foran will have his normal, consistent, good game. He's just a class act, and he'll guide him around the park, and he'll hit the line, and he'll get the ball away when he has to get the ball away. The big concern for me is Bryson Goodwin, the left centre for New Zealand. He's not good in defence. He reads the play very poorly. He panics when they're coming at him, and it was a concern for me with the Rizzers last year. And when he got to the big games in the semi-finals, he had a shocker. He just doesn't seem to be up to the big games. He goes great in club footy week to week, and he's been fine in these early games as well. Not that he's been tested that much in defence, but he's a big red flag, as far as I'm concerned, for New Zealand in defence. Bryson Goodwin. Whare has been a find for them. He's plugged that gap very, very well. If New Zealand have got a weakness, it was probably in their centres, although I'm giving Whare a rap. If you want to combine Whare and Goodwin together, they certainly fall away a long way if they're going to be going into the final next week and playing the 2 centres for Australia. There's a big gap between the 2 Australian centres and the 2 New Zealand centres as far as I'm concerned. But overall, it's an awesome looking New Zealand pack. It's been very, very, very well prepared by the 2 coaches. and I've got no doubt that they are the team to beat. Look, right at the moment, I'm not 100% sure who the coach is going to go with. I'm hoping he's going to go with Josh Hoffman on the wing and Kevin Locke at fullback. If he does that, my rating at the moment is -6 or $1.50 for New Zealand. That's where I think it should be. There's a chance if I go any way, it will be 6.5 and $1.45. At the moment, it's $1.50, 2-1 on, -6 for New Zealand. But it really is going to be anyone's game. I have an absolute very, very high regard for this England team. They probably don't have a genuine organiser. Rangi Chase is as good as what they've got, but Sam Tomkins comes up and he plays in the line and he acts as another second receiver. So they virtually are going to play this with 2 5/8s. It's all going to come down when they're attacking line, find out where Sam is. He has that unbelievable knack of running hard, stopping cold, stepping right, stepping left, and just getting around his men and either running around them or setting somebody else up. So it's all going to come from Sam Tomkins. I wouldn't be surprised if a bomb goes up to him early and he gets hammered very, very early, because I know without him, England don't have a lot of hope in this game. Whatever happens, it's going to be an awesome game. I just quickly want to tell you why I'm favouring New Zealand in this game, and it's not all about stats, but I'll give you 6 or 7 of the key stats that I do look at, and with the exception of one, New Zealand are leading England in every one of them. So we're talking about tries, New Zealand 34 to England 24. That's a monumental gap of 10 tries in the World Cup. 10 extra tries New Zealand have got. Try assists, it's New Zealand leading again, 32 to 23. Missed tackles. Now, here's an area where England have got an advantage. It's 63 to 51, and so New Zealand need to get that right, those missed tackles. But the good thing for New Zealand is those missed tackles haven't led to tries, so they've been able to scramble very well after they've made an initial error. Metres gained, now this is a big one for me because it shows us the superiority of the forwards up the middle. In New Zealand, 6-1-4-8 compared to 5-4-9-2. That's quite a substantial lead for New Zealand. So their forward packs have been very, very dominant in this tournament so far. Line breaks, New Zealand 39, lead New Zealand 27. Errors, England have only made 48 errors and New Zealand have made 60 errors. So that's a big gap, and that's a big advantage to England, and it's an area that New Zealand can't afford to do in this game. They can't be giving cheap possession away to England and get the ball to guys like Sam Tomkins and Sam Burgess when they're attacking the line. If they keep on doing that, it'll only be a matter of time before they go over. Offloads, big difference here. New Zealand 68 offloads to England's 51. And a lot of that is because of Sonny Bill-Williams. Sonny Bill-Williams has made 13 offloads in this tournament. He's the only player that's got in the double figures, and he just gets the ball away every time he hits the ball up. He's just amazing. Issac Luke has made 8, and Jared Waerea-Hargreaves has made 7. The closest any England player has been Hill, who's done 6. So we're talking about 3 Kiwis have done 7, 8 and 13 offloads, and only one England player, the highest they've done is 6. So a big difference there in offloads. So we're talking about points points against. New Zealand have conceded 34, England have conceded 40. Not a big difference there. But the big difference in the differential, and this is a big, big factor, New Zealand's differential has been far superior to England's at the moment. And in terms of attack and in terms of defence, overall, they're just a more of a complete side. But if New Zealand can put it all together for 80 minutes and their best players can play to the potential, there's no question they can win this game. But from what we've seen in the World Cup so far and what I think that the 17 versus 17 will be, I have to say I favour England by a converted try. It may be a little bit more than that when I see the final run on teams, but right at the moment I favour England to win this game by 6 points. Have a great game. I can't wait. Enjoy it, and I'll talk to you soon.